What choices do older single women really have left? Today's topic might hit a sore spot again, but I still want to remind unmarried women. Try to find someone while you're still young. Don't let yourself end up in a dilemma with no way forward or back. Lately, as the new year approaches, quite a few older women have come to me. In fact, some of them I think aren't just considered older single women, they're more like overage girls. For example, women who are 38, 39, or even 40 and still unmarried. When you talk to them, you'll find they all have the same hard requirement. The man must not have children. As for other requirements for the men, they're almost the same as those of women around 30. There's no difference from younger women. They require the man to be at least 173 centimeters tall, have a stable job, an annual salary over 200,000 yuan, and own a house and car outright. As for age, at most they accept someone 3 years older. And in fact, they even prefer younger men. And what's their reason? Most men, once they reach middle age, don't pay attention to maintaining their physique. They tend to gain weight, go bald, and become greasy. Women, on the other hand, pay much more attention to self-care, especially those who have made it into the group of much older single women. They're very willing to spend money on themselves. Whether it's in terms of looks or figure, it's true. They tend to be in better shape than some married women of the same age and generally have good jobs and education as well. But regardless of these women's circumstances, when they come to me, what I care about most is their requirements for the man's marital...
Oh my God, wait. This is what they say across the strait, an ancient Chinese secret. It can completely change how you see life and your experiences. Imagine a sacred hand face. Numbered beads calm the inner storm. Black medicinal stones protect you from negative forces. And there's also a pendant, skillfully guiding your energy to perfect calm. In just 30 seconds, you can discover your hidden 5 elements energy. Join the free test now. Join the free trial now.
And childbearing status. For example, if a 40-year-old, never married woman still insists that the man must not have children unless the man is committed to being child-free, if the man still wants to have kids and can meet the demands of these older single women, he will definitely choose women under 35. When a 40-year-old unmarried woman is compared to a 30-year-old unmarried woman, when their criteria for choosing a partner are almost identical, she basically has no chance of winning. And the catchphrase of these so-called overage leftover women is, even though I'm older, I take good care of myself. I look 6 or 7 years younger than my actual age. So, they're deceived by appearances like this. Previously, a man complained to me about this. The story began when the 40-year-old unmarried woman took a liking to a 41-year-old divorced man who owns a company and has never had children. She insisted on meeting him, but the man, after looking at her profile, he just said one thing. She's already 40, and she still wants to find a man who doesn't have kids. Isn't she basically asking a man to end his family line? Although this sounds harsh, it really is the main reason most men reject older women. So when unmarried women over 35 come to me, no matter how outstanding they are or how young they look, what I care about most is whether they can accept a man who already has children. If she insists that the man can't have kids, then honestly, there's just no hope. It's just not very likely. If she can accept a man who is divorced and has children, or whose children aren't living with him, then things like the man's finances, education, job, or income are all still negotiable. After all, age is a relative concept. If you're 40 and he's 50, you still have what's considered an age advantage. So for women who are over 35 and still unmarried, it's basically unavoidable that they'll end up becoming a stepmother. Hearing this, some people will definitely ask, can't you just not get married? Of course you can. But when these older single women were younger, they all thought the same way as you do now. So why couldn't they stick to it in the end? This is a question worth thinking about carefully. For people, the problem isn't making a choice. It's not being able to stick firmly to that choice. When they're young, they choose not to get married, but by middle age, they start to regret it. They don't have the ability to pay the price for the choices they made when they were young, nor do they have the determination to push themselves to compromise on men's conditions, and even less courage to face the prospect of growing old alone after their parents are gone. All they do is pin their hopes on getting lucky, thinking, sigh, maybe I can get lucky and find a good deal. So what kind of standards do you think these much older single women should set? What options do they really have left? Well,
a divorced female fan of Wei Darlin was chatting with me today. She said it's really hard to meet a blind date who's so persistent about her. She asked me if she should hurry up and get a physical checkup with him. I told her, of course, a physical checkup is necessary before starting a relationship. You must get checked. But then she brought up another concern. She said, actually, she feels like this guy is a bit of a flirt, like his character is a little questionable. So, if after this checkup, he goes on to date other women, or is seeing several people at the same time. Then, in terms of his physical health, there's no guarantee either.
Oh my god, wait, this is what they say across the strait, an ancient Chinese secret. It can completely change how you see life and your experiences. Imagine a sacred hand face. Numbered beads calm the inner storm. Black medicinal stones protect you from negative forces. And there's also a pendant, skillfully guiding your energy to perfect calm. In just 30 seconds, you can discover your hidden 5 elements energy. Join the free test now. Join the free trial now.
So she asked for my opinion. She wanted to know what to do in this kind of situation. She wants to take things further, to get to know him better, but she doesn't know how to proceed or how to put it into action. Actually, this is a common issue for many women who are older and still dating after a long time. They finally meet a man who seems genuinely interested in them, maybe even bombarding them with messages every day, often saying things like, "I want to start a relationship with you as soon as possible, let's make it official." For many older women, because of their age, their lives are also quite monotonous and boring, and there are very few people pursuing them, especially someone who is so persistent and bombards them with attention. Men like this can be especially troubling for older women. So, what's my advice? My advice is, when you meet a man like this, you absolutely shouldn't rush things. Don't fall into his logical trap. Relationships between people can't withstand the test of time. Time will answer all your questions. Really, if you meet a blind date like this, I think you shouldn't rush into getting a health checkup with him. Because after just one checkup, if he's seeing several people at the same time, he'll immediately feel insecure again. And in that case, it becomes a safety risk for you. So I think there's no need to rush. First, have some good meals together, chat, get to know each other, take walks in the park, and enter his social circle. After that, once you've gotten to know him better, then consider doing a health checkup. After the health checkup, just follow our processings like honesty, meeting each other's families, workplace, future plans, and so on. If you develop the relationship step by step like this, it's likely to ensure your safety, health, and emotional well-being in all aspects. Today, he really listened to what I said. So I want to share this video with all of you, especially those sisters who are in a hurry to find someone and get married. If you're divorced or have been single for many years, I think you shouldn't just jump into the fire so easily anymore. Because those truly good men in the market aren't that easy to come by. Have you heard? Good men don't circulate in the matchmaking market, so you really need to do your homework and observe carefully beforehand.
There are just too many high-achieving, older single women around me. So many ladies are about the same age as me, but they're senior executives in government or business. Some make hundreds of thousands a year. Some own several properties and cars outright. And some have started their own companies and make 1 or 2 million a year. But we all face the same problem. We really can't find a guy who's about the same level as us, or even just a little bit better. There just aren't any men around us who are better than we are. Because as women, we're not naturally strong. But when a woman makes 1 million a year, she wants to find a man who makes 2 million, or even has assets in the hundreds of millions. But men aren't like that. When a man makes 1 million a year, he might just want to find someone who's very young and beautiful, and it doesn't really matter if the girl only makes 3 or 5,000. So you see, we've always wanted to marry someone better, which is why we work so hard to improve ourselves, to strive, to buy houses and cars. But after we have all of this, in the marriage and dating market, we still don't have the advantage. Sometimes, the people I can find now aren't even as good as the ones I could have found in my early 20s when I had nothing. So why should I settle for less? That's why you shouldn't blame older single women for this.
Why are there so many of us? Why is it that when men go on blind dates and hear a woman say she likes to travel, basically, they won't pick her? Because when a woman says her hobbies are things like makeup, traveling, fashion, photography, yoga, and so on, you should just turn around and run. Don't think she's great or that she loves life or anything like that. Just look at the things she likes on, all of them things you have to spend money on. She doesn't really love life, she just loves spending money. On the contrary, it's those who say they like gaming, comics, watching shows, sleeping, cooking, or doing crafts. These are the kinds of hobbies that ordinary people can actually afford.
I'm 43 years old, unmarried, and without children. For a woman at my age, in the eyes of men, there's not much value left. After all, what men value most is a woman's ability to have children. And at my age, I don't want to have kids anymore either. Well, after all...
Oh my god, wait, this is what they say across the strait, an ancient Chinese secret. It can completely change how you see life and your experiences. Imagine a sacred hand face. Numbered beads calm the inner storm. Black medicinal stones protect you from negative forces. And there's also a pendant, skillfully guiding your energy to perfect calm. In just 30 seconds, you can discover your hidden 5 elements energy. Join the free test now. Join the free trial now.
I don't want to take on the challenge anymore of being an older mother and the risks that come with it. Plus, I'm not mentally prepared to be a mother either. So if I don't even have the ability to properly take care of a child, I think choosing not to have kids lightly is also a kind of kindness. When I look at so many outstanding people, well, I won't give specific examples, but they're wealthy, right? They're also famous. So why haven't they had children? It's not that they don't like kids, and it's not that I don't like kids either. Well, maybe there are a lot of reasons for that. As for my own reasons, well, I mentioned this in my last video. I've always had a kind of wild, unrestrained personality. And when I was younger, I never thought about getting married. Also, when I was young, I never felt lonelier. I never felt lonely. Now, after turning 40, I suddenly find that the sense of loneliness is very strong. But I don't regret it, no. After all, I really truly wasn't mentally prepared at all to welcome a brand new life into my world. I honestly and truly didn't know how to properly take care of a small, vulnerable child. So, well, that is precisely why my current life situation is exactly what it is now, in this very moment. I can only be on my own. At this age, if you still want to find a partner but you're not willing to have children, for many men, then what exactly would they marry you for? Just to take care of you in your old age, right? So I simply gave up on the idea of marriage and having children. That's precisely why my life is the way it is now.